We've reached the end of the Artist Way Week 12, which means we've done the whole programme and the time has flown by. What I've really got out of it is today I'm really happy, and yesterday I was so organised, and I feel like doing the morning pages and writing down first thing in the morning things I notice about myself, how I'm feeling and what I'm doing during the day has allowed me to sort of plan and schedule. Yesterday morning I woke up, I started writing an essay because now I can hold my attention. I can also do the fun stuff. And although I wasn't the most, with the artist dates, I wasn't the most adventurous, I allowed myself now to relax a lot more by focusing when I want to do the important stuff and then when I want to do the relaxing stuff. So yesterday I did a workout, I walked the dog, and then I went and sat and read in the hot tub, which is, you know, living the life of luxury. And although I've always been able to do that, usually I'm just sat at home stressing. So how about you?
Well, so first of all, I'm totally amazed. There are so many things that you just threw out there, like your writing muscles have evolved, like your self-care has grown. That is totally amazing. And I just said it before, you look great. And you said, I think that's my good mood. So
yeah. And I know this isn't, you know, external appearances aren't everything, but when you're in a good mood, you look in the mirror and you see yourself a lot better. You feel like you look healthy, you look more alive. And these past few days, I've done that. And that's not like a bragging thing. It's just, well, at least I'm happy now. Whereas I'm sure when I started this, I wouldn't have had, you know, that much confidence within to see myself in a good mood, in a good place.
I am so happy because I was actually thinking, as amazing as it was to go through the Artist Way with you, there might have been more of a before and after effect with somebody who's like really blocked and not sure whether they are creative enough to be an artist or not. And so I thought, I hope that Joe doesn't feel like it was a waste of time. And so this makes me so happy. I'm really happy. And what I think is really important, because when you say you were not like the most adventurous with artist dates, and I remember like conversations, I think it's safe to say that you didn't do one every week.
No.
So even you didn't follow the program to every letter, but nevertheless it changed you and it had an effect on you, and that makes me really happy.
Yeah, and one thing I've learned working with you and going through the Artist Way is sometimes it's not about following everything. It's not about following what people say. It's not following the program right down to the last letter. It's sometimes focusing on the meaning behind things and then taking away the meaning rather than doing everything exactly as the instruction manual says. So when I look at what I've got to get done in the day, I can then look at what's meaningful and what's important and do that stuff, and it has the same outcome in a healthier way.
This is so important. When we were in week 4, and still like in Facebook groups, people go wild regarding the reading deprivation. And actually Julia Cameron, when she does her online courses, and she adjusted that to a media deprivation. People go crazy with like, oh, I'm not supposed to read. And they do not look behind it and to understand the meaning behind it. And we talked about it a lot, like that it's about limiting the things that come into your head so that your head has like a chance to spit out what it has in it. I think it is really important when you come across something in the Artist Way that you balk at, that you look at it and try to figure out the intention behind it. Like why, there's a reason why it is in the book, because Julia Cameron absolutely knows what she's doing. So try to figure out the intention and then like see how you can have that effect, maybe with tweaking the exercise.
And what's something that stood out to you this time?
There was an amazing amount of healing happening regarding my huge failure with the web series. When I talked to you about it and made the video about it and we published it and all that, it was the very first time that I spoke about it publicly, but also it is something that I don't like to talk about when I like meet new people. Oh, there's this huge thing that I failed at. That's not something that I do. And I came to realize that shame doesn't like fresh air. Shame likes to be in your head and fester in there. And when you manage to open like a window to that room where you store all that shame, it'll do wonders. Because I've just started a new transmedia project, which is in German, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would promote the hell out of it with you right now. So I was terrified to publish that and to go that first step, because I failed with the transmedia project, and I failed epically. I got invited to a podcast, and the host, she knows me from that time, and she was like, "Oh, I remember when you did that web series. You were so full of power, and I was looking up to you." I did not like crumble. I just said, "Yeah," and I failed, and I did that with equal enthusiasm. And it took me a while to recover, and now I'm back, and I learned a lot, and now I'm ready to do this next project. I do not believe that this would have gone so well if it hadn't been for the Artist's Way, because yeah, as I said, there was a lot of healing going on. Another thing for me with doing this the 10th time is I finally got the hang of artist dates. Like I can totally feel you on the difficulty of artist dates, totally, because I've been there for years. And this is really, it was the first time that I had silly artist dates that I had. I think I had around 20 this through the, yeah. I'm amazed at, I'm really amazed. I can feel the effect, like in my whole life. There's a lot more playfulness when it comes to my work, and I am very grateful for that.
And seeing you do that was so much fun, and it sort of made me feel a lot freer as well. Even though I wasn't taking the same risks, to see you, an adult, I am an adult, but you're a more adult than me, you've been an adult for longer than me, but to see you do those things and have so much fun, I found was really quite freeing and so refreshing to see. I feel like we need role models that are more willing to be playful and more willing to have fun. And it's something that I've been speaking about to people. I've told people about your little growing egg, and I've used it as sort of a metaphor for opening up and letting go, and not letting silly things like your ego get in the way of opportunities that can make you very happy.
It was so much fun to watch this little unicorn hatch, and it was a €1 treat.
And there's something about watching something grow as well that gives us so much hope. I've got a plant and I've put it on my desk, and you know, seeing it and knowing you've got to water it. I feel like the Artist's Way is a program where you have to water yourself every single day. You have to give yourself what you need. You have to look after yourself, and it takes time. You can't just read the book and, oh, wow, I am the best artist there has ever been now. That's not how it works. You just need to water yourself every day, wait for the sun to come out, and you'll be growing.
I would add to that image, and I love that image, I would add the Artist's Way also helps you to figure out what kind of plant you are, whether you are something with luscious leaves that needs a lot of water, or whether you're a cactus that is beautiful in itself in its own way. And by the way, have you seen my friend?
No, well, I want to.
He's always in the background.
Wow, with the eyes. Love it.
It's not practical for me to have a pet right now, so I went to buy a plant because I thought I need something alive in here. And I saw this little fella, and I thought, well, aren't you just perfect? I love him very much. That is why he's always in the videos, and he's like in the background, but he's there.
Yeah, that reminds me of the artist totem. And when we went through that, and when I read it, I was like, what? And I feel like there's been a lot of cases of me reading that in the Artist's Way and going through it where I've been in shock. Like, is this really a thing? Do I have to pretend I'm doing this? And then I think about the meaning behind it, as you've said. And, you know, looking at that, it's something alive. It's something that's growing. It's something that has a whole system to look after itself. And it's about building those systems for ourselves so we can look after ourselves. We're so complex. We're more complex than we can ever sort of really understand. But by doing the Artist's Way, you help understand what you can do to look after yourself and what your own system is.
I think what you just said is also like one reason why it is really good to not do it alone, but at least have somebody online. And I mentioned the Facebook groups. There are so many groups where you can go in, and people are more than happy to share their experience and their advice. And because especially what you just said, oh, artist totem, do I really need that? And then I come in and I'm like, my artist totem, it's this unicorn. And I look at it and it's just like, it helps me, blah, blah, blah. So I think this is really, really helpful to have a different perspective on things.
And I feel like that's really helped me. And I don't think I would have done it without you. So I just want to say thank you.
Aw.
Because you've given me an opportunity I wouldn't have had. I wouldn't have stuck to it on my own. And if I did, it wouldn't have been the same experience, because someone, yeah, as you say, you need someone to sometimes tell you what to do. And you're such a good mentor and a good friend to talk about the things with. And I know, especially with the reading deprivation, I probably wouldn't have done it unless we had those voice message conversations and broke down, and then I sort of start to get the meaning behind things. But that doesn't take me. I probably wouldn't have even thought about it that long to work out what the meaning was if it wasn't for you challenging me on not taking risks and sticking up for myself. And I feel like that's, you know what you said about figuring out what type of plant you are? I feel like when you say you look good, you look healthy today, I feel like it's because I look in the mirror and I see, okay, that's what kind of plant I am. And I want to be a happy plant. And so I'm a happy plant now.
I love each and every word that you just said. Thank you very much, first of all. I'm taking the compliment, but I can't really take the credit because the credit is in the book. Julia Cameron has done an amazing job. I mean, there's a reason why this book is so widely popular. I doubt that everybody who bought it worked through it. I think a lot of people have it and find comfort in having it sitting on their shelf. Like, if I really want to do something about my life and about my artistry, then I can use this book. I'm always for people taking it and milking it for everything that it's worth, and it is worth so much. But nevertheless, I came to realize that there are other ways than mine, which is fully immersed and just go for it. It's okay if that book helps you when it is just sitting on your shelf. It's totally fine.
I know reading The Artist's Way, one thing I've learned is about having the self-respect and the integrity to say, that's something, that's me, that's my meaning, and I'm going to do that, and that's not me. And that's something I've learned from you and through reading The Artist's Way together, is when we've spoken about making different kinds of videos and you said, no, I won't, that's not me. And I thought, that's a bit stubborn. And then I thought about it for a while. Hang on, why aren't I doing that? Why am I doing things I don't agree with? When I'm working on a project with other people, I know what's okay to ask of me, and I know when to say no now. And it's also having the self-respect when I put out things on YouTube and online. And I need to think, right, is this me? Is this what I want to be today? And so thank you for that. I feel like just you being stubborn has really helped me.
Very welcome. What can I say? My birthday is end of March, so I'm in Aries, and I'm in Aries through and through. So we are stubborn, yes. It's really true when people say, stay true to yourself. Well, the thing is, and that is actually something that Julia Cameron points out so many times, in order to stay true to yourself, you first have to figure out who you are. Like, what is that self?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm figuring it out every day a little bit more. And The Artist's Way has helped me a lot with that.
The Artist's Way forces us to do things that expresses who we are. Everything we do to that is for a reason. When we go for a task and we answer questions that we probably wouldn't want to answer otherwise, we force ourselves to think, okay, who am I in relation to this question?
That's a great way to think about it. Who am I in relation to that? Yeah. I feel we should honor our tradition of finding our favorite quote from the week. And my favorite quote is actually the week 12 starts with it. Adventures don't begin until you get into the forest, that first step in an act of faith. And that is by Mickey Hart, who was the Grateful Dead drummer.
My favorite quote from week 12 is, one does not discover new lands without consenting to lose sight of the shore for a very long time. And one thing I've learned from The Artist's Way is sometimes you've got to see that shore in the distance or have the trust that it's there in order to venture out into deeper waters.
Thank you to everybody who's watching this and who watched our series and accompanied us on our journey. I hope you enjoyed it. I really hope that you're going through The Artist's Way by yourself, for yourself, or with somebody, and just do it, because it is such an amazing book, and I promise you that you will benefit from it.
I really do suggest staying in contact. Write us a message in the comments or reach out to us on social media. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you've connected with some of the things you've said and got insight.